So hi guys, my name is Pranjul and I'm back with another video of our channel. So basically in this video we are going to talk about what is dependency injection and how we can implement that in our Flutter projects and why it is important to implement that in projects. So basically we are going to use two packages there. The first one is the getit and the second one is injectables. Before moving further, if you don't know what is dependency injection, I would suggest you to watch my last video where I explained what is dependency injection, why we need it, and why it's a savior for us. So please watch that video and you will be finding a card, I think this side or maybe this side. I will link that so you can easily access that video. So now let's dive into our IDE to implement the getit and the injectable to our project. So first of all, we are going to use the very basic example here. We have a Flutter, you can say counter app by default when we create a new project in our Flutter. So basically we gonna use that. So here is a example I have created. It's just a sample project as you can see here. As you know, what it does is basically, let me just try to run it. I am not connected with any device right now, so I'll start with the web. So it's just a very basic example you can see here. So what it does, just by clicking this increment button, it will be like increasing that you can say the counter, right? Yeah, that's all it does. So let's go under the code. As you know, here's the increment counter method, you can say, which is using the set state method and incrementing the counter variable, you can say counter integer, right? So that's all it's doing, right? Perfect. We are going to use getit. Yep. Let me copy that and go here and the terminal, paste here, and I think that should be available in my repo. Yeah, right, perfect. And there is one more dependency I'm going to add here as well, which is injectables. Yep. So let me just copy that and here we go. Trying to resolve. Yeah, it's here. Fine. As you can see here, it has a increment counter method which increasing the counter count int with the help of set state. So we are going to remove that because we are going to use the block here. So basically, for be more specific, I am going to use qubits here. So just remove that and import that counter qubit and int. Okay, let's import that. And I have created that particular class, as you can see here, the counter qubit, and it will be like taking as a parameter currently int, because we are just emitting that particular state, right? We want to like increment that counter, so state +1. So that's all it does, nothing much. So let's move back, and so counter going to be replaced with the state. And the on press method, as you know, we have removed that particular method. So what we can do, we can replace that with context.read with our particular qubit, counter qubit dot, oh, I missed something, or you can see here get increment counter. So I think it should work fine now. So let's start again. Okay, something is wrong because we haven't provided the actual qubit, you can say. So that's why it's making an issue here. That's why it's showing red here, right? Because it doesn't know like where to start, where to enter, right? So that's why. So we require a provider. Provide the counter qubit here. Oops. Yep. So I think it should work fine now. Yep. And as you can see, it's upgrading our counter, right? But you know, we are providing the instance of it directly, right? So, and you can see in the in here we are like directly accessing that, but we don't want that to like increment that manually here. And now is for that I have created the another separate repository, you can say, which is counter repository here, and it is, you can see, return as an int type, and we can like use one here or any value you want to like increment here. And we have their mapper as well, which will be like making that your code more clean and you can say more testable here. So now, as you know, we are also going to be implement the dependency injection, or you can say the DI here. For that, first of all, let me just create the instance of that particular counter repository, and this it will be like accessing via the constructor. All right, so we are going to just use that and get increment, right? But as you can see, now we are getting issue into the main class, into our main qubit, where it is, yep, here, because we are like manually like passing that particular, you can say, instance of that particular qubit, right? So as you know, we have created the counter repository here. We can now directly access that into the qubit, and I have created the instance of it inside the class, as you can see here. So we have basically replaced that static, or you can say the constant one here. So we are accessing through the repository class, right? So as you can see now, we are getting issue into the main dart file, right? So what it could be, okay, as you can see now, the counter qubit is required that particular repository, as you can see here. So what we can do, we can provide that repository instance, or you can say the object to that parameter as a parameter here, and we can run that. Let's try that again. Ignore that issue because I am using the Chrome, so that's why I think it's creating that issue. Okay, show me something. Yeah, as you can see, it's working perfectly fine here, so nothing wrong in our code. Okay, phew. Now, but there is, as you can see, we are using the block provider here, and it's inside the build. So suppose somehow if we use set state somewhere else, so it will be going to like recall this method or re-render that particular thing, right? So what it does, it will be creating the instance of qubit again and the counter repository again. So these objects are creating again after that as well. So how we can overcome that? In that case, dependency injection came to the scene, so we need to create that file with the help of dart file, and we can name that as injectables. I am using the similar name to the method itself, sorry, dependency itself. Now let's create configure di. Let's keep it more minimal, and we require the get it instance as well, so let's create that and get in it. So as you can see, we are getting issue here, but just ignore that for meanwhile, because we are going to create that methods for us inside that particular, you can say, the get it. So injectable init should be there if you want to like initialize that di. So it will be like creating a separate class for us, and yeah, we need to like also create an import for that, which is going to be the same name, injectable. Remove that, r is injectables, so config, because we are creating a configuration file, right? So that's how it's going to be generate. Now let's run the command build. Let's wait for that. Okay, as you can see, the issue is gone and we have the another file created for us. So it has the init method and it is has some parameters, this environment filter, so we can talk about that later. It will be going to be covered into the test, so ignore that for right now. Now we can replace that with our instance. Okay, but we need to also add the annotation here which is injectable, so that we can find the instance of that particular repository. Okay, perfect. I think it should be generated. Okay, as we are using the build command, the build run command with the build, so it will not generate that again until and unless we write that command. So instead of that we are going to use watch. So basically watch, what it does, it's like run constantly, so that it can generate files for us and the required methods for us, right? So we have the injectable here configuration. As you can see, now we have the counter repository created here, so we don't need to like create that on our own. That's a great thing, right? Okay, one more thing we can do, we can also add the injectable here, right? So it can create the counter qubit instance for us. It will be going to be created here. Let's wait. Okay, okay, so now we can just remove that and we can use get it counter qubit, and that's all. you know you know how much simplified that code, because we are accessing the qubit and qubit is also like accessing the counter repository. So now let's try if we are getting the proper result we want, and that let's rerun that. Okay, it's not registered. Let me check what we did wrong here. Okay, because we haven't provided the configuration dia here. Now it should run perfectly fine. Okay, so now as you can see it's working fine. Let's try the increment method we have created. It's also working fine here. Nice, right? So that's how the dependency injection is like a savior for us. Like we don't need to remember, we need to like initialize that, and we need to like create that object here, right? And with the help of injectable, it makes our life more easier here, because if we just use get it, so we need to create that instances for by myself. So what I need to like do, that instances need to be created by myself here. So that's also like helping me a lot. So that's why injectables are like the important one as well. So you should use the injectables as well. So I think that's it for this video, and if you have something question related to the topic we have just covered, so you can feel free to ask me into the comment section, so I can reply that there. And until then, please subscribe my channel and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.